Hey guys. Okay, so I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and smoke my last Camacho uh, Triple Maduro. This is one of the best cigars that I've smoked so far, including uh, the Onyx and the Bolivar. Burn it. So just came back from the scanning. I had to do a CT scan and bone density scanning also for the doctor can see if my bones have enough density for the surgery that he wants to do. And he wants to do a full shoulder replacement, but I'm not too crazy about that idea, because if you compare laparoscopic surgery, which is they go through the little holes, they put a camera and they do the thing, it's a lot less painful and a lot easier than to do a replacement. I've seen the surgeries, how they do it. They even have to crack and cut. You know, not too crazy about the idea. We'll see how it goes. And I went and bought a can of Blast something. It's the old. It's probably the same product. The one that was called Liquid Wrench. They don't sell it anymore. But this one is called Blast something. I bought a can and put it in the garage. And I'm gonna see if I can spray the valves on the boat, and that kind of loosens up the valve if it's not closing completely or opening completely. Now that the engine is running, I can go ahead and do some more stuff. I'm gonna call the mechanic and leave him another message and see when he can do a diagnostic on the engine. But being that it's the holidays, he's probably busy, you know. Maybe he's gonna want to do it next year. I'm also going to try the same thing on the truck. I'm going to open up the valve cover and see if I can spray it down the side of the rod, goes down to the valve, and then crank the engine a few times and then go back and spray and let it soak, let it saturate. Maybe that'll loosen it up. I went and talked to a mechanic today and I said, look, I don't want to dismantle the whole engine. I just want you to take out the heads on the left side. Just remove the old valve and replace it. And he said, well, I can't guarantee the job if I don't do both heads. And I said, you know what, don't give me a guarantee. Just do it, because the other head has no problems. And he put it back together. So he quoted me $2,000. And also depending on the if he needs to buy new gaskets or something. And then the mechanic said, oh, we have to look at the cam also. So they're gonna look at the cam. Oh, we need to replace the cam. That means I have to replace, take the engine. I don't know. It's gonna be more complicated. So I'm trying to avoid spending a lot of money, because I just paid a bunch of money on taxes. On property tax. And so I gotta, Gotta count my pennies. Here's Papa kicking with me. I'm gonna try also, besides that blast. Let me go get it. Hang on a sec. So here's the spray I was talking about. It's called Blaster. This one here. And it says breaks loose faster, penetrating catalyst, selling, breaks free rusted and frozen parts, protect against further rust and corrosion, attacks rust. So this is basically is like the old liquid wrench that to me it worked very well on a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna try shooting a couple of shots of this, because this has also some lubricant. And then I'm gonna also shoot it with B12 Chem Tool. This is supposed to be also pretty good to loosen it, but this I know that this is more like an alcohol. You know, it's a throttle body cleaner, carburetor cleaner. It's a solvent. It says here dissolves deposits and quickly dries fast, leaves no residue. So what I'll do is I'll shoot it with this first. Let that soak in. Crank it, soak it, crank it, soak it, and then hit it with this, with the blaster, which this one has some penetrating oil. It says here, paint shop safe. What does that mean? Contains no silicone. It's been around since 1957. So I want to try it and see if this is going to help. Because a rusted bolt is a stuck bolt, and I have a stuck valve. It's not rusted, but it's stuck. So both of them might work. So I'm hoping for the best before I can fork out the $2,000, which I know it's going to be more than $2,000, because they're going to say, oh, the gasket is going to be $500. And then the cam is bad. We're going to have to replace the cam, $3,000. I'm going to try to do my own thing and see if it runs. And then I can really lubricate the crap out of it. Run it around. I already got new oil in it and everything. Drive it around, let that soak in there, you know. This happened because I was 280 miles away from an oil change. So the oil lost its viscosity. It lost its protection. So it started drying up and the valve got stuck. I hope it's not broken or anything. So I tried the ATF treatment, also put it in the oil, took out about 2 quarts, put 2 quarts of ATF, run it for about a week. Every morning I would start it for 20-25 minutes, let it soak in, and then I would run another 15 minutes. Did that several times in a week, almost 2 weeks, and nothing happened. It's still banging away pretty hard. Luckily the engine still runs. Anyways, got all this stuff going on. And then I started looking also at my gear. There's a guy online that he said that he wanted to buy some gear. He didn't say specifically what. So I'm gonna do a video on my gear and on the rifles that I want to sell. That I'm still debating if I want to sell it. I only got 4 rifles, by the way. You know, I got 5 because a friend of mine gave me that Weatherby, that he reminded me again. Can you imagine if one day, if I sell it and one day he says, hey, let me go see my gun. Oh shit. I don't know what to say. But anyways, I want to sell 2 and buy 1. I want to see if I can get the BAR in a 270. I don't want to get it. I don't want to get it in a 308 because I got 2 308s, and if I get it in a 7M8, which is going to be a short throw, it's going to be less recoil, and very sweet, everything. So, but the thing is, ballistically, the 308 is superior in power, in velocity, in range. Also, it goes further. The only place that it doesn't is not superior is in the wind drift, because it's a bigger diameter bullet, and the wind could push it. But the thing is this: if you're shooting in a windstorm, okay, you're gonna have some. But if you're shooting 200-300 yards, you go boom ting. You think between the boom and the ting, you're gonna have any drift? Please, you have to be in a hurricane to have any drift. What, a half an inch? That's nothing. If you're shooting 800 yards, that's where you might have a problem. But nobody with a 308 is going to shoot 300 yards. That's absurd. 300 yards. The 308 is a 400-yard gun, max. I wouldn't shoot beyond that. With the BDC that I have, maybe I'll shoot 450, 460, but never 5. For that range, you go to the 270, and you go up a little bit on bullet size. You go 40, 140, 45, depending on the company, the bullet brand. It could be Sierra, it could be. I got 160. I think I have a box of 162, 160s. I don't know. Maybe that's for the 7 mag. But on the 270, you can do. I've been shooting 140 for the longest time, until I finish all the 130s. I wanted to get rid of them. It's a little bit too light for me. It's good for antelope, but not. I wouldn't do it for a mule deer. You can hit it, but he's not going to be dead. You're going to have to go and finish him off. And that's what happened to me one time. I'll make a video about that. So 140, you can go up to 150, and I think they have a 170. I gotta check my book. So that rifle, semi-auto, quick shots. You know, if a deer is running from you, you got a quick follow-up shot, and you do it in 150. That's enough. You can shoot up to with a 270. I will be tempted to shoot over 550 yards. I don't think it'd be a problem. The drop is at 500 is 44 inches. If you shoot a 7 Magnum at 500 yards with a 140, let's say, or 150, the drop is 40 inches. So the difference is only 4 inches. That's 4 inches right there. From a Magnum to a 270, the 270 would drop 4 inches more. I don't consider that to be a big difference from a non-Magnum caliber, that it doesn't kick as much as a 30-06. So that's why I made a decision to get the BAR. If I'm selling the other guns, get the BAR in a 270. Now the gun with the wood and the aluminum finish, it looks very nice, very fancy. But I think it's overdone, because you might scratch it and then you're worried about the wood. And I want to give me the black one or the one that's camel. Those are hard to find. Actually, you can order online, but they're more expensive than the fancy one. The fancy BAR, it runs around 1349, I think it was. The black one is 1569, I think it was, and then the camel goes up to 16 something. 22-inch barrel. It weighs a little bit under 7 pounds without the scope. So by the time you put the scope in the sling, you're gonna be up at the same weight as the other guns that I have. which are light. The only gun that's heavy is the 7 mag, and that mag shoots like a dream. That's why I hate to sell it. But I haven't shot it. I haven't been shooting that gun for years. All I do is take it out, clean it, put it back in the box. The Weatherby 30-06 is not my, doesn't fit me. It's not my caliber. I might sell that one and just get the BAR 270. Check it out, bro. There's a signature right there. That's a sign of a good cigar. The ashes haven't dropped. Now, I'm sorry I keep bouncing from one subject to the other. I went from the truck, the boat, the truck, the guns, and another cigar. The cigar that I want to try, the more expensive, not the most expensive. I want to try a good Arturo Fuente, and I'm willing to pay $60 for one cigar. These cigars are not coming out to not even 20. The guy that bought Old Blue from me, when he came to pick it up, he was walking in, and I was sitting in the truck. He was walking up the driveway, and he was holding an Arturo. And immediately I got that aroma, and I asked him, "What cigar is that?" He goes, "Arturo Fuentes." I forgot to ask him, fine, which one? Because Arturo Fuente makes a lot of different ones. I remember they had a very nice, smooth aroma. And I don't have the guy's number anymore, so I couldn't call him and ask him. All I need is a coffee, little espresso. But as far as gear, going back to the hunting stuff, as far as gear, I got some redundancy. I got a bunch of knives, and I got things that I don't you buy because I love the blades. I like the blades. I only love women. I don't love food, or I don't love guns. I like them. I got a few knives that I like, and I'm willing to part with them because I don't use them. They're just a bunch of knives in the drawer, and I don't really collect. I got maybe, if I think hard, maybe I got 10. I wanna start selling some of this stuff, little by little. I start getting rid of my gear because I decided that I'm not backpacking unless I have a companion. Now there's this kid that I know. Hey, there's Mama. Yeah, he recognizes the car. He's looking. Oh, Mama's here. There's this kid that he's new in the country. He's working. Really decent kid, and he's got some smarts in him. I might invite him, but he's new. He's only been here for less than a year. He's working in warehouses, and he's doing things. So I know he wants to probably go, but to find the time, hey, little espresso, give me a double, please. So check it out. That's more than an inch, man. That's an inch and a half. Pretty soon to be, that's more like an inch and 3/4. So if I draw for the wilderness, which I love that place, and I know it like my backyard, I'll see if he wants to go, because he'll be an asset. He can help me carry. He can help me bring in. If I do shoot the deer, bring him in. He can guide it. That I can teach him all kinds of stuff. I took him to the boat, and I was working on the engine and installing the carburetor and adjusting it. When we left, he says, "Now I know how to install a carburetor," because he has no mechanic knowledge of any kind. Because in Cuba, who has a car? Who has the tools? If I had to take apart the engine, he's gonna help me dismantle the block, take the heads up, take it out. So he says he's willing to go. He's willing to go, and he wants to learn how to do it too. he wants to learn. He went to my friend's house that had the surgery. He changed the fan. He took out the old fan. He installed the new fan. This guy told him, sitting in the wheelchair, how to do it. And he sent me a picture. He's up on the ladder and he's doing the thing already installed. So he's learning. The guy's learning. Okay, I don't want this to fall on my pants. So I'm going to flick it right here. So if he wants to go, it's going to be an experience. But he's going to have to take minimum 3 days to go out there. But he's gonna do something he's never done in his life. Not only the experience of hunting, but the experience of backpacking and how to pack your pack. What to take in your pack. Don't overdo it with stuff. Take the essentials and you enjoy the trip better. You don't want to go in with 80 pounds. I got a friend that he bought a pack and he loaded it up to 85 pounds. He thought he was dying. And he told me that he went up to Idlewild, which is pretty steep, and I said, what are you doing up there? No deer. He just wanted the experience of backpacking on a trail. And he did, when he was young, he did that by himself. And I said, well, backpacking as a single thing, it's if you're gonna do a long trek, but if you're gonna park and go up a hill and camp there, I guess it's okay as a first timer, but I need to have a reason why I'm gonna go up there and climb. So hunting is the reason, not just to go there and make coffee and come back the next day. You know, some people do that. I know a guy, an Indian guy, that he went on the Pacific Coast Trail that goes from Mexico to Canada. And he said he did that trail. He was overweight, and by the time he finished the trail, he said he lost like 40 or 50 pounds. And he was eating, he didn't even have a tent. He just had a sleeping bag. He would sleep out on the open. And he would find streams with, he said he found some wild onions and stuff, and he was eating this stuff going up there.
He got dry food.
Delicious. So he went, I don't know if he made it all the way to Canada, because you can quit anytime. But he told me something that he had a bad experience. So he said that he went on the trail. He was in the middle of this huge mountain range. He said that was very steep. There was no place to lay down, so he had to lay down on the actual trail. It was the only flat thing there was. So then around 2 o'clock in the morning, he said that he felt that there was a presence there, and he kind of opened his eyes, and he wasn't in a tent. He was just laying in the bag. He just kind of looked up, and behind him there was this thing standing up, commonly known as a Bigfoot. At the beginning, he thought it was a bear on 2 legs. Immediately, he got out of the bag screaming, and he had this nervous screaming attack. And, he stood up and he turned around and, screaming, and this thing is in front of him. The Bigfoot, I guess, if you want to call him. He just stood there and looked at him, and he just turned, and he says, within 3 steps, he was gone, disappeared. Went up the hill like it was nothing for him. Went up the mountain. And he said after that, he hasn't gone backpacking anymore. He swore up and down that it was. He says, look, I'm not making this up. I don't need to make up things. He says, but it was very scary. All right, I want to get going. See you guys on the next one.